For these? Will I have the money to send my kid to college? Well, that's specific. How long has that been there? 7-letter word for a bank that helps you reach your goals.
Synovus. Order for Synovus?
Thank you.
Are you Synovus?
Yes.
Are you gonna ask or should I?
A solid financial future doesn't happen by chance. Let's talk about your potential today.
Tune in to the Blues Hound Show every Saturday, 10 a.m. on WBQP TV.
For 75 years, Baptist has brought innovative care to our community. Through our Andrews Institute, we continue the legacy by providing advanced total joint care, restoring mobility, strength, and quality of life. Baptist Healthcare, here for you then, now, and always.
Make sure you download the WBQP TV app, available on most streaming devices.
Tune in to the Blues Hound Show every Saturday, 10 a.m. on WBQP TV.
Hello, I'm Dr. Isaac Williams, and I'm running for School Board District 3. Our community is asking for change, and I agree. District 3 deserves change. District 3 deserves a representative who will listen, communicate, and stay connected to the community. Our students need every opportunity to succeed. Our teachers need support, and our community and parents need a voice. I've spent my time as a servant leader in the Marine Corps, as a pastor, as a community activist, and I'm prepared now to serve District 3 on day one. And I will be honored to earn your support and your vote on August 18th. God bless you. God keep you.
Keep growing.
Remember where you came from. It's the foundation of who you are.
Show up for others.
That's been our approach at Penn Air for 90 years. Penn Air Credit Union, 90 years strong.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you. Call State Farm agent Arthur Searcy for your personal price plan today.
So what day is the meeting? Fun day. Fun day.
With daily draw games starting at $1, every day shall henceforth be known as Fun Day.
Every day's Fun Day with Pick Games, featuring drawings twice a day. The Florida Lottery. It's good fun.
Good morning. This is J.O. Gatson of the Emmaus Baptist Church, Pensacola, Florida. And we've come to pray with you on this Faithful Friday, TGIF Friday. And we're just grateful to the Lord that he has seen fit to see us through. Let us pray. Father God in heaven, we come praying words of prayer, sacred words of prayer, and to say thank you because we love you. We thank you for this Faithful Friday because you brought us right up to the weekend. And we owe it all to you. We've gone through lots this week, dear God, but we owe it all to you. And thank you for bringing us thus far. And Lord, we pray that you'll prepare our hearts for Sunday's worship, the Sabbath, and that you'll vow in our hearts to be all that you would have us to be, that we will come together as saints on Sunday in our designated places of worship. Lord, this is our prayers. We pray in the belovedness of Jesus the Christ, our Lord, our Savior, the only God we know. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Hello, I'm David Williams, District 3 Representative, seeking re-election to the Escambia County School Board. 4 years ago, I said, together we can make a difference. Today, I'm proud to say, together we have made a difference, thanks to your trust. And because of you, we do not have any failing schools. Our schools are safer, we've closed the achievement gap, and our students are college and career ready. I'm asking for your support again to re-elect me so that we continue the work that we started 4 years ago. Please visit my website at davidwilliams3.com to learn more about my initiatives I have accomplished and the ones I will pursue over the next 4 years. Early voting is August 8th through the 15th, and the primary is August 18th. Your vote is essential to keeping our community moving forward. Thank you.
Hi, Vernon. Here's a look at your weekend weather forecast. We're heading into another hot summer weekend across the Gulf Coast. Friday brings partly cloudy skies and only a 20% chance of rain. Afternoon highs will reach 89 degrees with warm overnight lows of 79. On Saturday, expect mostly sunny skies, a high of 90 degrees with overnight lows around 78. Rain chances remain low at just 10%. Sunday stays mostly sunny and even hotter. Highs will reach 91 degrees with lows around 77. There's a 20% chance of a passing shower, but most areas will remain dry. And looking ahead to your Monday morning commute, temperatures will already be in the low 80s before soaring to a high of 93 degrees later in the afternoon. This is Cheryl Mulrain, and that's your weekend weather forecast on WBQP TV.
WBQP TV Radio wants you to be prepared for the hurricane season.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it now.
Thank God it's Friday! Prepare for the weekend with Morning with Vernon.
Yeah, y'all, Vernon, Janice, I'm okay. This technology, I tell you, you just don't know. I don't know. I can't explain what happened, y'all. Something froze up and something like that. You know, the last thing I can remember saying for y'all, maybe before it froze up and everything, I was telling you that I was going to have Cheryl Moran to give you the weekend weather, but what I did was I have Cheryl to give you the weekly forecast, right? And the weekend forecast. But I have Lola here, y'all, to give me the day's forecast. You know what happened for today. All right. So day versus week. And I guess Cheryl must have gotten jealous of Cheryl must have gotten jealous of Cheryl must have gotten jealous of Lola. Lola must have gotten jealous of Cheryl. I don't know which one they got what happened this morning in the way though. But I got on the phone here with me before we get into our news and stuff like that. I got Mr. Ellison Bennett on line here. Mr. Bennett, what's going on? Wait a minute. Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I've been telling people for months the war in Iran won't be over until Iran say so. Now, the mega president have been telling people for weeks now that Iran is obliterated and we won the war and taking a celebration lap. Iran fired on a ship that did not get their permission to come through the strait on yesterday. Iran fired on a ship. Headset, the Secretary of Defense, and I know they changed it to the Secretary of War, he have fired another general. Now I want to hear the people of Pensacola send letters to their congressman and the president for removing General Chappie Jane's picture from the Pentagon and the information about Colin Powell at Arlington National Cemetery being a distinguished soldier, they took that down as well. Wake up, America. This MAGA bull have been going on long enough now. We can spend $442 billion on the war and can't give people health care. Thank you so much.
All right, Ellison. All right, y'all. That's Mr. Community, Mr. Ellison Bennett, y'all. He's a little fired up. I think his Trump derangement syndrome is worse than mine. Okay, and that mine is pretty bad. Good morning, Vito. How you doing, sugar? Yeah, my Vito is sweet this morning. But anyway, I want to say good morning to everybody that's listening to us on television, on radio, on social media, on Alexa, and everything. So I want to say good morning. Okay, good morning. All right, y'all. Let me get back to my traditional program. I think my Gus gets a little jealous of it, but I was telling you about Janet. I was telling you about Cheryl versus Lola, but anyhow, I'm just gonna get past that and get into some of the news stories that we're going to talk about this morning. Okay, that's what I think I would end up doing, talking about news you can use on a Friday morning. Okay, let me see if I can get my headlines in here. All right, y'all.
Good morning. It's Friday, the weekend, and Pensacola are made for
each other, Vernon. Before going to the beach, give us the headlines.
All right. I ain't going to, what are you talking about, Bubba? I ain't going to no beach. Not me. No, I'm not a beach hound, but I will give you the news. I can tell you that. I give you the news. Now, I don't know what when I saw this picture here, I was a little concerned about, I was going to talk about this man, but apparently this is a woman. I wish this is a woman. And, she got in trouble for, I was talking the other day about foster children, getting these children, probably just for the money of it. But anyhow, she traded her foster daughter for a monkey after years of abusing the girl. Okay. But crazy people do crazy things, y'all. I don't understand that, but that's in the news. Okay, let's move on to some other more crazier news. Two people here. This is according to the police department here, the Pensacola Police Department here. They're saying that two people were arrested following a 10-month copper theft ring in Pensacola. I don't know how they pull this off. But they go around to all of the light poles that Florida Power and Light put on and try to strip the copper off. And they do it. And what happened, happened is that they went and stole all this copper from the light poles and then tried to sell it. And then the copper people must have called the police and they caught him. 37-year-old David Nielsen and 31-year-old Ray Ann Horn were charged, according to the Pensacola Police Department, with light pole theft, if you will. Copper on light poles on the bridge along the interstate, then stripping from copper. I just reported just last week, another guy electrocuted and killed him, got electrocuted trying to do the same thing, okay? And they say this man stole around $250,000 worth of copper, approximately 100,000 total feet of it. No wonder our light bills be so damn high. We got stupid people like this causing that because they have to replace that copper in that people steal and so forth. But anyhow, he got busted. He got busted. They you know how he got caught? He got caught by the game wardens. The Florida Fish and Wildlife got a SWAT team, if you don't believe it, because he jumped into to avoid apprehension. He jumped into the water, and so but they pulled his ass out, and they charged him with this kind of stuff here. Anyhow, stupid news, stupid news, stupid news, stupid news. Okay, I love to report stupid news because stupid people do stupid things. Okay, all right, let's go on to another stupid news, and this is what I don't understand here. They just arrested y'all this doctor. Okay, and then I guess all these cases allegedly until they're proven, but they said a Pensacola doctor was arrested yesterday for prescribing pills that he didn't have no business subscribing to. Some 25,000 and 500 pills worth of pills later that he's been prescribing illegally. His name is, I guess his name is Doctor. That's the only way you can get to try pills. I'm assuming he's a doctor. 58-year-old Edward Scott Morrison, Pensacola Beach, faced 41 counts in federal court, accused of illegally distributing controlled substance. But now I noticed they didn't put his mugshot up there. I wonder why. Okay, I wonder why. But anyway, he has been arrested. And now this must have been about the fourth or fifth case that we reported in Pensacola. Now I've been reporting several of these pill mills. You know, when one of them in Cantonment, one was downtown. I mean, over on the other side of town. Several of them, and I think that's a national trend across the country because the feds got involved. So they have been taking down doctors all across the country that are prescribing illegal drugs to people, abusing their licenses, if you will. But anyway, we got the sheriff on this morning, and we're going to talk to the sheriff because a lot of it is contributing to the opioid problem that we have here in town. So, but anyway, he got caught. He's down. Okay, got caught. All right, let's talk about this subject here. One Blood has experienced emergency shortage of an O type blood, y'all. If you got O type blood, you might pay attention to this because they got an emergency. I'm O positive myself, okay? But if you're O positive or O negative blood, One Blood needs your help. The blood centers say that they're experiencing an emergency shortage of this type of blood. Okay. If you want to have an opportunity to help your community, then go down to the blood center there and donate if you're an O positive or O negative type blood, if you will, you could help somebody. Now, I was surprised now to learn that only 7% of the population has O negative blood. I thought it was more common than that. It's a little bit higher with O positive, but if you got O negative blood, that's kind of a rare blood. Regardless of the blood type, you can accept O negative blood, but 7%, I was surprised. If you got O negative blood, maybe you got some gold running through your veins. I don't know, but please donate, y'all. Nothing else. Please donate. If you got O positive blood and you got O negative blood, they need your help. Okay, they need your help. You can donate it and I don't know. I think you go to the, you see the big red bus around town, and they're going to be at the Wahoo Stadium on Friday. I believe it on Friday. If you want an opportunity to donate your blood, they'll give you a T-shirt and they give you a $20 gift certificate and a Wahoo baseball cap if you donate your blood. And this blood is vital to somebody's lives. Okay, if you will. Okay, all righty. In addition to that, let's go on to the next story here. This is come on, story. Where you at? Always something here, right? All right. This Pensacola. See, I told you I get to report on because I like to talk about these crazy people doing crazy things. All right. Now, this man here, this is a car dealer, right? A car dealer on Pensacola Boulevard, right? He is charged with harassing the taco truck owner on an ongoing issue. Okay. So the owner, these are two businesses fighting now, right? This car dealer is charged with harassing this Mexican restaurant owner. They say for the last 10 months or so. So they arrested him on stalking charges. But he was released on a $15,000 bond. But they say that this car dealer I guess he's a used car dealer. I don't know what he used. I never heard of him anyway. But they say that he's on America's First Auto Sales. That's located there on Pensacola Boulevard. And the man that he was harassing on a taco on the taco rack there on 29, located there also on Pensacola Boulevard. And they say that the neighbors, they neighbors. And so both owners, they admit to having a spat here. But anyway, a report is saying that the car dealer, that's what I'm going to tell you the difference. This is the car dealer. It's a brown man. I guess this, I'm going to say this, y'all. Brown versus Brown. Because this guy obviously of Indian descent, not Native American, but Indian descent. And then the taco man obviously is Hispanic, Mexican descent. So two brown people fighting there. It says, my grandmom used to say, y'all don't mind that. That's white folks' business. So y'all don't mind this brown folks' business, I guess. but anyway, the car dealer he was charged knowingly and willingly engaged in a course of conduct that was doing what they called emotional distress to the taco owner for no legitimate purpose. Now, according to the report, now, here's what they say that happened, y'all. They say, according to the report, the car dealer man drove through the taco parking lot at a fast speed and almost hitting the taco owner while she was in the parking lot and insulting her and starting to stating, that he was gonna hit her. On and on and on. I don't know. And I'm trying to figure out why in the hell are they fighting? Okay. I don't know why they're fighting. Okay. And then, but this brown man, he continued to do that. He continued to go over to their parking lot and he destroyed their property and stuff like that. And why? I was trying to read through the report on why they have a beef and taco. Maybe they didn't have beef. Maybe they had taco instead of having beef. All right, y'all, let me move on. I like to tell these stupid ass stories, y'all. Okay, all right. Now I'm getting a little more serious here now because the next story is a serious story. All right, they're doing a death investigation after they found a decomposing body up near Walmart there on Highway 29. And I was thinking to myself, that's the sheriff office got a station right there, and so it's pretty close to where the sheriff office is, I guess. And but anyway, at any rate, they are having a investigation on when more information comes out about that, we'll continue to let you know, because it is they don't have the details on what they found. All they know right now, that according to the report that was sent out, and according to what I heard on Channel 3 News as well, is that somebody smelled a strong odor in the area, and so they went to that sheriff office there and they reported it. So when they went and investigated, they found an individual, which was a male, but he was in a state of deep decomposition there. So they had the medical examiner office to pick him up, and they're going to perform an autopsy on him, and they will know later, a little bit later on, about what happened in that case. Okay. All right, let's move on. Y'all know yesterday they opened the Costco store, right? They opened the Costco store in Pennsylvania. They said thousands of people was at Costco's yesterday. Okay, thousands of people. I'm gonna wait till the dust settles. If you ask me, I'm gonna wait till the dust. Excuse me. You might want to be a member. You got to be a member of the Costco Club. It's there on 9 Mile Road. Used to be where the old Kmart. If you don't know where the old Kmart used to be, but it's right there on the corner of 9 Mile Road and Kimstrand Road. Okay, they got a brand new big old Costco's over there. All right. And so if you want to be a member, go over there. Yesterday they said it was really crowded yesterday. But anyway, let's go on to another story. Talk about mosquitoes, if you will, and pests stuff that bites you. They expert is trying to blame. They are trying to blame the mosquito problem, if you will. I said the mosquito problem, but they what do we call expert? They're saying that the reason that we having more mosquitoes and pest infestation, if you will, across the area is because of El Nino. And I told them they need to send old El Nino back to Mexico or whatever. Why are they gonna bring him over here and bring these mosquitoes with him? I don't know, but anyway, you got to be careful because this summer mosquitoes and other pests going to be an issue because of the weather condition that they call El Nino, which forces rain and stuff like that. So we're beginning to see a lot of rain right now, and which created a lot of stagnant water, which create a lot more bugs and mosquitoes and so forth. So be aware of that. Okay, be aware of that. So when you're out and about. All right, let's go to another stupid story here. Now, when brother, hey brother, look, Lord help me, Lord help me. Okay. Anyway, this story here, this is this my man. He's a convicted felon, and he was arrested after stealing a car, and then he went on a car chase with the police. You know what they always say: you might can outrun the police, but you can't outrun Motorola. So they're gonna be waiting on you down the road, Bubba. So why are you trying to do that? But I know, obviously, nothing fails but a try. He was trying to get away, but he wasn't able to do that. He had been convicted 9 times on felony charge, and he was arrested again after he had a high speed chase, and then he crashed and he stole a car. Okay, and they crashed the car, and then the sheriff nabbed him. Okay, his name is Savaro Champion, I think his name, but they charged him with weapon possession by a convicted felon, resisting arrest, fleeing and eluding, trafficking in fentanyl, obstructing justice, burglary, damaging property, driving with a revoked driver. They trying to throw the book at you, brother. They throwing everything against the wall to make sure that it sticks for you. Okay. But anyhow, they was trying to arrest him, so he took off in a stolen car, and then ended up hitting a concrete pole over on Pace in Jordan Street over there, and so now where he sits in jail. Okay, All right, let's go on to another story, if you will. If you think that will, I think that will help us out a little bit from these crime stories here. Now, this story here don't make you happy either, because they're finding out that people now that's under 35. And I always wondered how come my grandchildren never moved out. But that's what they're saying now. And you know what they're saying here, that a record number of people now that's under 35 still live with their parents amid this house. That's somebody did a study on that, and they saying that a record of more than 25 million adults under 35 are living with their parents amidst this housing crisis that we have in here. 1 in 3 young adults was living at home last year, according to this report, and which is higher than the numbers that we had during the pandemic, if you can believe that. Okay, so roughly 70% of 25 to 34-year-old people are still living with mama and daddy. Okay, wow. That couldn't have been my mom and daddy. When you got 18, you got a job, if you didn't go to college, you got kicked out of the nest. And when you went to college and after you got out of college, you got kicked out of the nest. But not today. But it might be right and so, because with the cost of this affordability issue, it is a problem. Okay, it is a problem. And I understand that rent now, when I guess rent was only $200 or $300. Now rent is $2,000. So it is something that we have to consider as well. All right, let's move on to another story. You know this story we report every day on the solar panel stuff, that nobody wants these solar panels and nobody wants the data centers in their backyard. Okay, these are the two issues that have been plaguing people around the country, and these are necessary things that are going to help for the convenience of us. Okay, but nobody wants it in their backyard. So those are the two big issues been going on right now: data centers and solar farms. Okay, data centers and solar farms. And I know we reported a story over in Baldwin County some time ago about these. They didn't want solar panels in their area over in Baldwin County. Now, I want to tell you what my daddy told me years ago. Okay, he told me years ago. He said, "Son," I don't remember this. I found it to be so true. He said, "Son, I don't know about this world." He said, no, he didn't. He said, "Son, I don't know about the next world, but in this world, money runs it." Okay, money runs it. I remember, and I said that to say, I remember reporting on this story probably 2 or 3 months ago, that the folks over in Baldwin County, I think it's over in Stockton, where they wanted to put this solar farm, and the folks over there said, "Not only no, but hell no, not in our backyard. You're not going to put it over here." Well, guess what? Money won out. Okay, so the Silicon Ranch, they say, it got approval to move forward with putting 4,500 acres of solar panels in Baldwin County, over there near Stockton. It's a $350 million project. And so there, money won today. Okay, so they're preserving 2,500 acres, including some wetlands over there, to put up these solar panels over in Baldwin County, Alabama. And believe you me, the same thing gonna happen with those data centers. Okay, everybody hollering about they don't want no data centers, but these might be an eyesore for you, but you're gonna enjoy lower electricity if you can get of solar panels. You're gonna be enjoying more, because with these data centers, the world is based on information and computing now. They need these centers to store data and stuff. You talking about the cloud? That is the cloud, y'all. You know, they're talking about you're out there, you got your stuff out in the cloud. Well, that's where your information go to these huge data centers. And with the onslaught of AI, you need a lot more of these data centers around. Okay. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to Santa Rosa County. We're talking about computers and data centers, and Milton say that the city data stays secure after somebody tried to hack them with some ransomware. That's another thing that's happening with ransomware stuff that they can hack computers and hold counties and governmental officials at hostage until they pay the money in terms of bitcoins and so forth. But they had an issue over in Milton, I believe, with the city data over there. But the city's saying that, oh, no, don't worry about it. We got it. And again, that might go to show you again that how you're going to need these data centers also to help keep you safe. But some folks point to the same thing with these data centers, the reason that hackers can get into it. I don't know, but you'll see. Now, if you're living up in the north end of the county, we reported some time ago that when we had that first washout, they washed out this road over on a bogus road on Highway 29, which they had to detour traffic from 29. Well, they having to redo it. They fixed it. We reported, I think it was last week that we reported that they had fixed it. They had fixed the issue, but now because we had this rain again, and they close it again for now repair. So if you're up in the north end of the county, you're definitely going to have to, it's going to be affected by that. And because they're redoing the route there. All right. Now, another thing, it started in July. Y'all, we got some new state laws that is going into place in July. And some of these laws are good. Some of them I don't agree with, but one of the things that we had a show on last night, y'all. We do every Thursday night, once a month on the fourth Thursday of each month. Start with Carolyn Williams. That show is called Domestic Abuse, No More Silence. And where women that battered women are having serious issues with a domestic abuse. Well, and women that suffer from domestic abuse can now get relief, and they always can get relief. But they had a fund set aside, $1,500. This is a state fund. They had set aside $1,500 for women so they can find some relocation when they leave these a domestic abuse home, which is not a lot of money in comparison. $1,500. I don't know how long that would hold out anybody. But the new law that they passed and effective thought in July 1st, up the ante from $1,500 to $5,000 to help get women out of these situations. And they go to places like favor houses and places like that to get them out of the abuse. But you need to check out that show on WBQP dealing with domestic abuse. And they got several other laws that are going to take place on July 1st. But this one particularly that is dealing with domestic violence. And so I think that it is a good thing. Okay. It is a good thing. All right. Also, and I think that was State House Bill 277. If you want to read about it. Also, it said that in that same law, repeat offenders of domestic violence will now face longer prison sentences. They're gonna charge them with misdemeanors to felony charges, and so that is a good thing, because folks, if you in these domestic violence situations, if they threaten to kill you, you better take them. You better take it seriously, because they're just not whistling Dixie sometimes. And we have had a really epidemic of issues this year alone dealing with domestic violence. All right, let's go into a story about Dana. Y'all know who Dana is? Well, Dana is DNA. Now, they I thought there was a cute story, and DNA have solved one of the oldest cold case that going back to the Revolutionary War soldiers. And I mean, you talking about a case that 250 years old. They using old Dana, as Muddy would say. She called it Dana. The DNA, DNA. They use some DNA information to solve a problem that links way back to the Revolutionary War soldier. Okay, that's more than 250 years ago. And they found a skeletal remains and other artifacts, and they used that information, the DNA from that, and to solve these crimes. So, y'all, man, times are getting you can't get away with nothing. With DNA and cameras and everything else, you can just forget it. All right, now I'm going to move on to another story here. Vernon, y'all. The mayor talked about this on the show the other day. Vernon Shipyard. We're going to have a shipyard coming to Pensacola. Hopefully, that's going to provide some jobs, more than 2,000 jobs. So I think we talked a little bit about that yesterday as well. Also, the GDP update shows some good economic growth, but not great, but pretty good as consumer spending, is happening with this crazy economy we got. So we don't end up with a recession or depression, if you will. All right. Now, here's another trend now I want y'all to think about. Remember the trend 40 and 50 years ago, everybody left the South going north. Okay. Well, guess what? The trend is reversing, if you can believe that. People are now flocking to the South like they never done before. Just like people, like my auntie used to say all the time, not about going south, but she used to say this about dead people. She used to say all the time, which is crazy, when she hear that somebody's dying. I said, you listen to yourself. People dying today like they never died before. So people are traveling south, y'all, like they never traveled before. Okay. I just said all that to say that. So the trend is coming back on. You can see that now. Gentrification is a great example of that. Suburb. You remember when the white folks, when we did with integration, we started integrating, and then we was in this black folks was in the rural area, and they started integrating to the cities, and then white folks ran to the suburbs. Okay, so they ran to the suburbs and created a lot of traffic problems and a lot of other stuff, and now they're migrating themselves back to the city, okay? And as we moved out to the suburb with them, we followed them out to the suburbs, and now they're running back to the city. Now, when we ran the same thing, we ran north with these folks, and now they're running south, running from us. Y'all know what they're running from, so come on now. Help me out. Come on. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to another story. The national story. I'm gonna get in these stupid national stories here, but this man here, Dershowitz, whatever his name is, he's a Trump friendly person, whoever he is. But anyway, he's a one of those law professor. I don't remember whether he's at Princeton or he's at Yale or he's at Harvard, but he's one of these lawyers that and you know what, I think wasn't he on the OJ trial or something like that, something about that. But anyhow, he's saying that it's already been he was talking about the Democratic Party after making this switch. He said that the party's already blown up. And y'all, I ain't gonna read that story. Go ahead. This crazy boy here, okay, this crazy boy here, y'all call y'all president. He got into spat with the folks in his own people over in Congress when he went over there. And they got a stalemate over now whether or not he's going to sign this bill that they passed, a partisan bill that they passed over there. Anyway, but then they had to talk about the stupid war he started, and now he don't want after they passed this bill that Trump didn't like because he want this voters bill passed so that he can do away with mail-in voting, and so the Democrats now they got another bill that they want to fast track for Trump, but they got a Democratic senator is blocking that bill until Trump signed the housing bills. See, they signed that great housing bill, a bipartisan bill that they passed a couple of days ago, but Trump refusing to sign it and everything because he wants his Save America bill to be passed and everything. So we have to see what happens with that. Now, y'all know the Supreme Court yesterday. Well, I guess Trump ought to win because he got the White House, he got the Congress, he got the Senate, and he got the Supreme Court on his side. They gave him yesterday a green light to eliminate some immigration issues, like people that here working on visas and stuff like that, particular people, Haitian descent and so forth. Now they over here working, legitimate working, but now they can, the Trump administration can send them back. In addition to that, they also have, they also can turn people around at the border. You know, it used to be that when people seeking asylum to this country from their country when they are dangerous, we used to be sympathetic for that. Well, the Supreme Court have gave the Trump administration the right to unequivocally turn these asylum seekers away, and also to send back people of color, basically, with visas that work in this country, like Haitians and in different other groups that come in this person on a legitimate visa now. Legitimate visa. So Trump want to send them back. Okay. And so that it is what it is. Okay. They got a last thing we'll talk about here, and then I'm going to go to a commercial break. But they got a in the Smithsonian, they got a new Smithsonian exhibit now, trying to celebrate the 250th anniversary through nature. So y'all, if that piqued y'all interest, go ahead and check that story out, because it's just something that is worthy of looking at, y'all. I know, and I went through all of this stuff, but I tell you, we got some other good stuff coming up here in just a few minutes, y'all. But before, we're gonna take a commercial break. But when we come back from the break, y'all, I want to talk about some other stuff and that you probably gonna want to know about that I didn't get a chance to get to this morning. And then that's when we come back. Hopefully, we're going to be talking to Sandra Faye's Botanical. Okay, when she come in, she's going to be talking about her. She features every week a new product. Okay, a new herbal product that can help you. So we'll be talking with her about at about 7:45. Then at the 8 o'clock time frame, we're going to be talking to Dr. Tawana House, and at 8:30 time frame, we're going to be talking to the sheriff, and then hopefully we're going to be getting into some Black history that we usually do, and some community announcements as well before we can get off the air. Okay, all right, y'all. Tell everybody, Morning with Vernon is
It's time
on.
for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now, come on now, get up. For mornings with Vernon. Get up now, let's go. Get up now, turn it up now. 1, 2, 3, let's get it now.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you. Call State Farm agent Arthur Searcy for your personal price plan today.
I remember these. Will I have the money to send my kid to college? Well, that's specific. How long has that been there? 7-letter word for a bank that helps you reach your goals.
Synovus. Order for Synovus?
Thank you.
Are you Synovus?
Yes.
Are you gonna ask or should I?
A solid financial future doesn't happen by chance. Let's talk about your potential today.
Since 1951, we've been here for our local community, creating pathways to care. We meet you where you are, with trusted doctors in convenient locations throughout the area. Baptist Healthcare, here for you then, now, and always.
Day or night, your loved ones show up for you. At HCA Florida Healthcare, we do too. Because you're the center of our family, Florida's largest healthcare family. And you'll feel it in everything we do. HCA Florida Healthcare. We show up for you.
Need a new outfit for a special occasion? Look no further than Viola's Men's Apparel. Viola's has been providing the latest styles and accessories in Pensacola for over 20 years now. We have clothes for every occasion, and we offer consultations and group discounts. You can trust that our care, quality, and class will be unmatched. Viola's Men's Apparel, for all of your menwear needs.
Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home has been in business since 1913. Hi, I'm David Hawkins, the owner of Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home, saying we are a full-service funeral home. We offer pre-need funeral planning. We have a newly remodeled chapel and conference facility. Stop by and see us today. We have 9 vehicles, all waiting to service you. At Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home, we appreciate your stopping by. On behalf of all of our family here at Joe Morrison Son Funeral Home, thank you so much for allowing our family to serve you.
I'm Dr. Isaac Williams, and I'm running for School Board District 3. Our community is asking for change, and I agree. District 3 deserves change. District 3 deserves a representative who will listen, communicate, and stay connected to the community. Our students need every opportunity to succeed. Our teachers need support, and our community and parents need a voice. I've spent my time as a servant leader in the Marine Corps, as a pastor, as a community activist, and I'm prepared now to serve District 3 on day 1. And I will be honored to earn your support and your vote on August 18th. God bless you. God keep you.
So what day is the meeting? Fun day.
With daily draw games starting at $1, every day shall henceforth be known as Fun Day.
Every day's Fun Day with Pick Games, featuring drawings twice a day. The Florida Lottery. It's good fun.
Hello, I'm David Williams, District 3 Representative, seeking re-election to the Escambia County School Board. 4 years ago, I said, together we can make a difference. Today, I'm proud to say, together we have made a difference, thanks to your trust. And because of you, we do not have any failing schools. Our schools are safer. We've closed the achievement gap, and our students are college and career ready. I'm asking for your support again to re-elect me so that we continue the work that we started 4 years ago. Please visit my website at davidwilliams3.com to learn more about my initiatives I have accomplished and the ones I will pursue over the next 4 years. Early voting is August 8th through the 15th, and the primary is August 18th. Your vote is essential to keeping our community moving forward. Thank you.
Good morning. This is J.O. Gatson of the Emmaus Baptist Church. Pensacola, Florida. And we've come to pray with you on this Faithful Friday, TGIF Friday. And we're just grateful to the Lord that he has seen fit to see us through. Let us pray. Father God in heaven, we come praying words of prayer, sacred words of prayer, and to say thank you because we love you. We thank you for this Faithful Friday because you brought us right up to the weekend. And we owe it all to you. We've gone through lots this week, dear God, but we owe it all to you. And thank you for bringing us thus far. And Lord, we pray that you'll prepare our hearts for Sunday's worship, the Sabbath, and that you'll revive in our hearts to be all that you would have us to be, that we will come together as saints on Sunday in our designated places of worship. Lord, this is our prayers. We pray in the belovedness of Jesus the Christ, our Lord, our Savior, the only God we know. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Hi, Vernon. Here's a look at your weekend weather forecast. We're heading into another hot summer weekend across the Gulf Coast. Friday brings partly cloudy skies and only a 20% chance of rain. Afternoon highs will reach 89 degrees with warm overnight lows of 79. On Saturday, expect mostly sunny skies, a high of 90 degrees with overnight lows around 78. Rain chances remain low at just 10%. Sunday stays mostly sunny and even hotter. Highs will reach 91 degrees with lows around 77. There's a 20% chance of a passing shower, but most areas will remain dry. And looking ahead to your Monday morning commute, temperatures will already be in the low 80s before soaring to a high of 93 degrees later in the afternoon. This is Cheryl Mulrain, and that's your weekend weather forecast on WBQP TV.
WBQP TV Radio wants you to be prepared for the hurricane season.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. Get up now. Let's go. Get up now. Turn it up now. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it out.
Gotta turn my mic on. All right, y'all. Welcome. You know, this 7:45 time frame, you know, every Friday, y'all, we are blessed to have our famous Sanja Faith Botanical on. Good morning, Sugar. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Vernon. I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing well. This is Miss Valerie Boyd, y'all. She's the owner and operator of Sonia Faith Botanical. And she got some herbal, natural, organic healing for you. Talk to her this morning, Sugar.
All right. So, yes, well, thank you for having me on, first of all.
No problem.
And so the product of the day, well, the herb of the day is going to be moringa.
Moringa.
So, moringa. So we have a tea, and we have about 30 different herbal tea remedies, but one of them is mystic moringa. So
I don't know what that is.
little bit about moringa. Yeah, a little bit about moringa. So the moringa leaf is nutrient dense, and of course you make the tea out of it. It's a superfood tea. It's caffeine free. It is essential. It's loaded with essential amino acids, vitamins, and minerals. And this is interesting. Gram for gram, dried moringa contains significantly more potassium than bananas, more vitamin A than carrots, and more calcium than milk. So, it's loaded with vitamin C, beta carotene. It helps to fight free radicals, and it helps to regulate blood sugar. Helps to lower the fasting blood sugar glucose levels. It's to help manage type 2 diabetes. It also reduces inflammation and supports your heart health by lowering your LDL or bad cholesterol. So, the moringa plant, it is just nutrient dense. We use it as the main character in our Mystic Moringa tea, which is a daily wellness tea. And we also add to our Mystic Moringa, we also add hibiscus flowers, which is really high in vitamin C, and it has that nice little sweet tart taste, the hibiscus. And then hibiscus also helps to lower blood pressure. So that's the Mystic Moringa. We even add some fennel seeds to help with bloating, because nobody wants a bloated tummy. And that is Mystic Moringa. And a little bit of education about the moringa leaf.
Okay.
Yeah, got any questions for me?
I just never heard of a moringa. Where do moringa plant grows?
So, moringa is a little bit hard to grow moringa here because of because our winters we get that cold.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you can grow it here, but you have to bring it in the wintertime.
Okay.
Yeah. But it is just nutrient dense. I mean, the most nutrient dense plant there is. So, when some people come in and if they're taking that Synthroid or any kind of hormone, any kind of thyroid medicine, and if they can't have CMOS, we're going to go towards moringa. Because moringa has lots and lots of vitamins and minerals in it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Now,
and it really don't even have a taste.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You boil your leaves, and it's almost just like just drinking water.
Now you say you take it on a daily basis?
Yeah. You just drink yourself a cup a day. So, like most of my teas, they were created to address a specific need. Parasite cleanse, blood pressure, blood sugar, liver, kidney, and blood cleanse, eye health. So all of those are directed, towards a specific need. But with the moringa plant, you can just drink that every day just as a overall wellness tea.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, if you can't have CMOS, because CMOS got the 92 minerals, the body has 102 minerals, and CMOS has 92 of them. I always try to get people to start that CMOS. 100% of my customers that take the CMOS, they say, I stopped taking CMOS for about a week to see if I notice any difference. And oh my goodness, my digestion, I can tell the difference in my digestion. I can tell so much of a difference, I can feel the difference in my energy levels. Like, but being that everybody can't have the CMOS, I think that the moringa tea is a good runner-up for those people.
Okay. Now, that'd probably be good for me because, I'm on thyroid medicines and I can't take the CMOS.
The CMOS. Yeah, that would be good for you then. And it's a difference that you can feel, And then there's all types of research behind the moringa and behind CMOS as well. But there's so much research behind the benefits of moringa. And like I said, you like the taste too. So, with some of the herbs, you just have to, like with the parasite cleanse, that don't taste good. So you just kind of have to, grit and just swallow it. But this mystic moringa tea that I'm telling you about, it tastes fantastic.
You said almost got a no taste to it, huh?
Right, except for the hibiscus that I add to it. The hibiscus and fennel adds like a sweet but tart taste, because the moringa leaf doesn't have much of a taste. But when we add the fennel seeds and we add the hibiscus flowers to the mystic moringa, my tea, the signature tea, that's what it tastes like. So it's really good, and it's really good for you. So that's our signature house tea, because it's not for something specific. It's just a daily wellness tea. And our teas are only $20 in store. They're $20 in store, and they are buy one, get one half off. So you can get two for $30. Even though they are loose leaf teas, all of our teas come with disposable tea bags. They have a little drawstring, so it's very, very easy to make. People get a little intimidated when they see it, but it's like, no, it comes with this. It only takes 10 minutes, and they're like, oh, so it's really simple. And the store is located at 9216 Old Palafox Street in Pensacola. So we are behind Walmart on Highway 29. We are about 2 blocks away from KFC on 9 Mile Road in a 10 strip mall. We are right next door to Mo Treats Bakery. And our hours are Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. And then Sunday from 12 noon until 4 p.m. Our phone number is 850-824-8222.
Okay. All right. The best part of what you're doing is the price. You got some great prices. You got some great prices on your herbal products, okay? And it's really affordable, and people really need to check it out, okay? And so
people always are shocked when we get to the register and they ring it up and they like, oh, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah. So we try to be the affordable herb shop, because a lot of the community just, is on a fixed income, and we want to be affordable for everyone.
Okay. All righty then. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, you got anything else for us this morning?
Let's see. I would just always like to tell your audience about our magnesium oil spray. It's only $6. But if you're having cramps, tight muscles, a lot of tension, you just spray that spray directly on the tight muscle or the cramp, or where you're feeling the tension, whether it's in your, how you have your the tension in your neck. A lot of people have like pain in their knees and ankles, or they get cramps in their calf muscles and thighs easily and stuff like that. You spray that magnesium oil spray on there, that cramp is gone within 30 seconds. So, a lot of people just don't know about that. And then magnesium, half of the country is magnesium deficient and doesn't even know it. Because when you go to your doctor, they're not like testing for your magnesium levels. You know what I mean? But yeah, so this spray is not oral. You spray it directly on what hurts, and you spray it underneath your feet before you go to bed at night. And you have large pores under your feet, and so that magnesium absorbs through your feet over the night, and it helps you get a good night rest.
Okay. All righty then. All right. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. I got, I might, I don't know, but I must have slept wrong or something. I got a kind of a pain in my neck that that came down to my shoulders, and it been necking. Would that work for that as well? You think? It sounds more like muscle. It's more like muscle pain that I'm having.
Yeah, it's more. Yeah, it is more like muscle pain. I would say for like waking up with like you mean like a crick in your neck or something like that.
Yeah, almost like a crick in my. It's almost like a crick in my neck. But it's more than just a crick in my neck. Okay, and it kind of worked its way down. And the only way I can think I must have slept wrong, it was a crick in my neck, but now it's been worked down in my shoulder area, in my arm shoulder area. Yeah. So what would that might be? You think that might work? Okay.
I have a pain and inflammation T.
See that right here? You see, well, you can see it, but you can't. But right in my shoulder area there, it started in my neck, but it kind of worked its way down in there. So what you got for me on that?
Yeah, but if it worked its way down,
You're working its way down.
The magnesium oil spray. Yeah. If it's working its way down, magnesium oil spray probably can help. But I would also say we have a pain and inflammation tea. And I mean, when I tell you people, I've had a guy who he was about to. This is a customer review of that tea. This customer came in and he was walking like tiptoeing and had his hand on his back and he was in pain. And he told me that he was he owned an 18-wheeler and he was about to sell his truck because he was in so much pain he couldn't drive it. And I was like, okay, well, let's try this first. And I got him on the green apple with spirulina, the sea moss green apple with spirulina. And I got him on the pain and inflammation tea. And he did the spray, the magnesium oil spray. That man came back within 2 weeks. He was walking upright and normal, wasn't tipping around. And
he wasn't tiptoeing in. Go ahead.
Yeah, he wasn't tipping around no more. And he was like, hey, that tea and that sea moss and that spray, man, it saved me. He was like, you got a customer for life. And he really does. He comes every 2 weeks to get those 3 things. So if you're having any kind of pain and inflammation, those 3 things will knock it out. And, you can get all of that, the sea moss, the tea, and the spray for $50.
Okay.
Yeah, all 3 for $50.
All 3 for $50. That's a great deal.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Boyd. Y'all, that is Mrs. Boyd. She's at Sandra Faye's Botanical. Tell them again where you're located at.
9216 Old Palafox Street. We are on the back side of Walmart on Highway 29, headed towards 9 Mile Road. We're about 2 blocks away from KFC on 9 Mile Road, in a 10 strip mall. You can't miss it because my picture's on the window and it says all natural remedies. And we're directly next door to Mo Treats Bakery.
Okay. Well, very good. Very good. All right. Well, thank you, Sugar. We appreciate you. We appreciate you for coming on every Friday because people need to know about this stuff and about the information and stuff, particularly it's natural healing. Okay. And so we appreciate that. All right. All righty.
All right.
We'll see you We'll see you on next week then. How about that? Well, we want to see you, but we'll hear you on next week. So you got to start getting early enough to put that wall paint on so we can see you.
Yeah.
I got your picture on here so folks can see the real you.
Yes. Oh, right. Vernon, I forgot. I don't know if I gave him my phone number or not.
Go ahead. So give me your phone number. Please do.
Okay. So it is 850-824-8222.
Okay. Give them to me again, because we sometimes get a little slow on it. They try to put it in the phone. What is it again?
It's 850-824-8222. 8222. And I want your
Okay.
guests to know you don't have to just call me if you have a question about what we talked about today. You can just call me and just, if you have a concern, I don't care if it's embarrassing, just call me and ask me. And I'm pretty sure I can help you out.
Okay, baby. I gotta go. I got a guest coming up
Okay.
next that we're gonna talk about. You might want to stay tuned. We're gonna be talking about mental health this morning. Okay. But thank you. We'll talk to you next week,
Absolutely.
okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. That was Miss Valerie Boyd this morning. I got a special guest on with me this morning, and her name is Dr. Dr. Tawana House, and she's going to be talking to us about mental health this morning. And and that is something I believe is so important in
Hey,
our
baby.
community, in
Hey,
our
there.
community. She didn't hang up with me. Valerie, she gonna have to hang up on me. Okay, but anyway, good morning, Mrs. House. How are you doing this morning? Folks, let me introduce Mrs. Tawana House. She's a mental health coach, if you will. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am well this morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing great.
Very good. I wanted you all, last night you was on a show with Carolyn Williams, and y'all was talking about domestic abuse, and which is a very important subject in our community and in all communities, because domestic abuse is running rampant today.
Yeah.
But even for a wider concern, we always are concerned very much about our physical health. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
But we don't pay too much attention to our mental health. Let's talk about that, if you will. You call yourself a mental health coach. Okay.
Yes.
So let's talk about Dr. Tawana House, who Dr. Tawana House is, and what you do, if you will.
Sure, absolutely. Well, my name is Dr. Tawana House. I am the founder, CEO of Beacon of Hope Champions Ministries, LLC. It's a ministry as well as a business. Basically, the focus of the organization is to help people become emotionally and mentally well so they can spiritually grow. I do a lot of work with faith leaders and faith communities really across the country. I am also a board certified professional mental health coach. And the reason why that I have such a passion for mental health is really because of my own lived experience. I struggled with depression for over 30 years in my life, and I had attempted suicide 3 times in my life unsuccessfully. The last time it happened was about 16 years ago, and I was pregnant with my youngest son, who is now 15 years old. And from that point forward was when I began my journey in the work that I am doing now, because at that particular time, especially in the church, if you will, it was frowned upon for people to go get therapy, to go get help, because they felt like, well, you don't have enough faith. So at that particular time, there was a lot of pastors taking their lives as well. And that was when I heard the voice of God basically tell me, well, who's going to be the one to cry out for those individuals? Who's going to be the one to tell them the truth that it's okay to have your faith as well as a therapist? So that's where that all began for me. And as far as being a coach, well, I'm different than a therapist, because a therapist helps you kind of unpack the past, and also help you problem solve and navigate that journey of why you're feeling the things that you're feeling and why that process is and what that journey looks like. But I'm the one that you would come to afterwards with to do a solution focused approach to help you continue being well. Because it's one thing to get the therapy, it's one thing to get the help, but now you need to have a plan and a daily maintenance routine to keep you that way. And so that's where I basically come in as a coach as far as mental health. So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Well, Dr. House, let me kind of understand this, okay? And I'm saying this because, in our community, we always associate mental health or the lack of mental health with being, quote, crazy.
Yeah.
Okay? And nobody wants to seek counseling for the same reason. You know, we all need to seek counseling for whatever our needs are. But people refuse sometimes to seek that because of the stigma of being labeled as being, quote, and I hate to use this crazy term, it's not acceptable, called crazy. You know, and I'm saying crazy term, but nobody wants to do that, and nobody, and there's a shame. And just like you saying about the church sometimes frown upon it because they think that if you don't have enough faith in God, if God was all answer all your problems, just like you said, and even preachers commit suicide. Now, one of the biggest challenges I think that we're gonna find with people seeking, folks like you, seeking counseling and seeking coaching and stuff like that, is because not only because of the stigma that associated with it, but they're also because of denial. You know, sometimes people deny the fact that they have problems, and they do. How do we get past the denial stage of that?
Ooh, well, that's the struggle. Let me just be honest, because I could talk about it from my experience that there was a time that I was in denial my own self. I was in denial. It really is a struggle because a lot of people just feel like you said, they don't want to, be labeled with that stigma, and they don't want to be, viewed as, like you say, crazy, or like, well, you're weak because you're dealing with your emotions and all that. The thing I could really say as far as dealing with denial, and I've had this question asked to me by other people that have loved ones that are dealing with it and they don't want to get the help. I always say that you really can't, especially when they're an adult, you can't really make someone do what they want to do. You can take that horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. So the only thing that I recommend is that be present with them no matter what. If they're not ready for that right now, that's okay if they're not. And if they're not being a harm to themselves at this particular moment, okay. You can always just say, hey, I'm here. When you need me, I'm here. I'll be present no matter what. And also just be, knowledgeable, of the resources that are available. So when that person does come from that place of denial, which usually means they get to a place where they get tired. That's what happened to me. I got tired. It took me not being able to emotionally connect with my child to break me down and say, I need help. That was my experience. Now, I can't say that that's not for everybody, because when it comes to emotions, like I told you all last night, people are quick to try to avoid them mentally in their mind. In their mind, they're thinking, okay, I should be good. But those emotions go somewhere. Right. And then, it eventually is going to pop up in some way. But, it's hard to get past that now because it has to be an act of a person's will to want to get help. And as much as we want to be there and love people, you can't make them do it for themselves. They have to want it. And the only way that you could really, do that is just be present for them. And sometimes it could take somebody like me that they can look at and say, well, wait a minute, hold up. She's not denying it. I said, no, I'm being truthful about it. And sometimes that might be the thing that might help them open up. But it all depends on how that's presented. You don't want to force it down their throat, because if they're in that denial state, because they want to be, it's for a reason. But, until they get to a place of being tired within themselves and tired about what they've been doing the whole time and no change, then that's when things can kind of start happening. But until then, that denial is going to be that barrier. Definitely.
Well, let me ask you a question then. I know you went through this yourself, okay? And you said by your own acknowledgement that you attempted suicide 3 times, okay?
Yeah.
So what was the straw that broke the camel's back for you to finally decided that you needed some intervention?
What, like I was saying, what broke the camel's back for me was, it was a couple of things. The first thing was when I attempted suicide when I was pregnant with my youngest son, and I remember him kicking me inside of my stomach. That is what, and he knows this, that's what saved my life. Number one.
Really?
Yeah, that saved my life because I
Oh.
could have easily went on and just sunk right on underneath that water in that bathtub that day on Christmas Day 2010. I could have easily just sunk in there and said, okay, I'm done, right? You know, because the pain was just too much. But in that moment when I felt him kicking me like a soccer player, that's when I said to myself, I can't do this because it's not his fault that I feel this pain. He shouldn't
Right.
have to suffer for something that really has nothing to do with him. He's innocent of that. And so I decided to go ahead and, you know, and not go through with it. But it was a few years before I actually got help. Because at that particular time, it's different now than when it was then, you know, that I could get help and maybe take medication that wouldn't be necessarily as harmful for when I'm pregnant with a child. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't get that help at that particular time. But then 3 years later, when my son was about 2 years old and I found myself not being able to connect with him emotionally, not being, you know, he would just be jumping and smiling, you know, not really caring about anything. And I was just still in that depressed state. I was just not here, not, you know, and that's when I finally just said, okay, I got to fix this. And anything, I also had 2 older children. So I said, I got to fix this. I cannot live life like this anymore. This is not fair to them at all. I got to figure out some way to get this together. And so that was when I noticed that when it came to my children, that's what broke me, was when it came to my children. And so that's when I started doing what I needed to do.
Well, what are your advice to people that are suffering this, and what are your advice to family members that are experiencing this with folks in the family that refuses to get help?
Absolutely.
So what is your advice to them?
Well, let me say this. My advice to the person that's struggling, I want to say to them that you're really not alone. I mean, seriously, you're not. There's 1 in 5 people in this country that experience dealing with a mental health issue. So, for example, let's say that you are in a room of 100
1 in
people.
5.
1 in 5.
Wow.
So that's 20%. So let's say you're in a room of 100 people. 20 of them are dealing with something. And the thing about mental illness is that it's an invisible illness. It's not something that you can clearly see, right? So you can't look at somebody and think, oh, they got a mental illness. You're not going to know that. You're not going to know that by looking at someone. So I'm saying to say that just because you're struggling, it doesn't mean that you have to struggle by yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to be ashamed of what you're dealing with. Just like when you talk about when you've got chronic illnesses, chronic things going on in our bodies, cancer, lung cancer, chronic pain, all these different things that we easily go to doctors for to get help. But when it comes to the brain, which is really the source of really how our body functions anyway, we have the stigma with it. When really in reality, if we're not healthy in our mind, we're not going to be healthy in our body, period. And so I say that to say is that you don't have to be ashamed. You don't have to be ashamed of any, because right now there are so many people that are just like, look, you're talking to somebody. I'm right here. That looks like that I've been there. And it's okay to open up and be honest and say, you know what, I'm struggling in my mind. I really need help. Because believe it or not, there are a lot more people struggling in their mind more than they care to admit.
Yeah.
But then stigma grows in silence, but healing begins in community. So I would just recommend that don't be afraid to reach out. You can reach out to me, you know, and we can have the conversation. And I'm not going to be running my mouth to anybody, you know, because I know what it's like. And then those who are loved ones that want to support people who are dealing with this issue, I'm just going to tell you that it's in your heart to help, and that's wonderful. But I recommend that you learn how to help, which is be present, listen. Don't be so quick to feel like you got to fix the problem. Because in honesty, you're not going to be able to. They have to be willing to fix the problem because it's in them.
Yeah.
So all you can do as a loved one is get the knowledge, get the understanding, go to resources like Beacon of Hope, National Alliance of Mental Illness that actually have resources in reference to this, and then find ways just to be there for that person and give them safe space to be honest and not to judge. Because really, to be honest, a lot, and here's another thing I just thought about. In order for people to be truthful, they have to feel safe.
Yeah.
To know that once they speak that truth, that nothing is going to happen to them. If they feel like something's going to happen to them, like they're going to be put down, they're going to be judged, they're going to be harmed, they're not going to open up.
Yeah.
So you have to give them the space and give them the consistency and the trust to know when you say this, you're going to be safe. When you say this, you're not going to be harmed. So it's okay to talk about it. And as family members, that's what we need to do more of. Instead of judging, being quick to say like, well, why you say you're crazy? No, you don't know what they went through to get to the point where they are right now. Ask questions like, well, what happened?
Right.
How did you get here? Do you know how you got here? And for some, they may not know how to communicate it because for some people like myself, it was hard to communicate, but be patient. Be patient with them and be present.
Yeah. I noticed that in particular with us and that, and it's okay to do this, but it's probably not the only thing that you need to do. A lot of folks that going through problems and issues, they go talk to their pastors and so forth. And that's not a bad thing to do. But
no, it's not.
The cautionary thing that you need to do, but sometimes they are not professionally trained. They can listen to you, and I don't know whether they will advise you. And I'm hoping that they are advising you to go get professional help as well, because talking to your pastor, your help probably go deeper than just talking. And I think that trained professionals, trained counselors, they're trained to help a person. Some people feel like they can't be helped. Oh, I think the biggest thing is they feel like they're being judged. And
Absolutely.
They feel like they don't have,
right off,
and they don't have it, and they don't. Sometimes they feel like they don't have an issue to deal with. And what I try to understand and get people to understand that people that going through issues may not feel the same way you feel.
Right.
And what feel normal to them is not normal to you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So understand you can be better qualified to talk about that as well. So you can tell folks that they're not crazy, they different, or judge whatever. You don't do that, because and number one, it's beyond their control. Had it been in their control, probably they probably wouldn't be in the situation they're in. But however, you are in a situation that is different than the mainstream, but they don't realize different than the mainstream because they only experience what they're experiencing, right?
Correct.
And so they thinking everybody else is different.
But see, that's the thing we have to be careful of. We have to be careful not to assume.
Right.
That's where we make the mistake. Just because if it works for you doesn't mean it's going to work for them.
Right.
Just because it's common sense to you doesn't mean it's common sense to them.
Absolutely.
And you were just talking about how a lot of people go to pastors and leaders, and that's a lot of the work that I do actually is breaking that intersection between spirituality and mental health and equipping pastors and leaders to help their congregations. But a lot of it begins with that pastor being aware of their own mental health and wellness, to say, I see some signs here, to educate themselves and I see some signs here. Here's some resources that are available. But a lot of times and I deal with this with some pastors and leaders, they feel like sometimes they have to be the end all to everything, but that is not what's expected of them.
Right.
That was never expected of them. You're supposed to be that point of spiritual leadership and spiritual counsel. But when it goes beyond your realm, your scope of what you know, the best thing to do is to refer. Because just like a recent situation that happened, there was a pastor that told a one of the congregants about their child to not take any medication or what have you, get help, because that just goes against the word, goes against faith, and it ends up that particular child ended up taking his life.
Wow.
And that's when you realize you're stepping into a realm that you're not graced for or you're knowledgeable about. And there's a lot of lives, unfortunately, that have been lost because of that. Because before you go to a counselor, most people will go to their pastors.
Yeah.
They'll go to their faith leaders. And so if we are the ones that are supposed to be making up that gap, we got to be mindful that, okay, because I'm a pastor, faith leader myself, been there. You're responsible for that person's life as far as what you give them. So give them the right information to say, hey, this is beyond my scope, but however, I know somebody that can help you. Here are some resources that can help you. And so that's the work that I do a lot of. And like you were also saying in reference to, getting that help and the whole stigma and everything and how people will tend to judge and all that. This is what I usually tell people. You're not that far from being crazy yourself. Let's keep it 100. You're not that far. Okay, you may not be diagnosed with anything. All right. You may not be struggling like that in your brain. Okay. But let life happen to you.
Right.
Let something in life happen to you. Let something traumatic happen to you. There's no guarantee that you're going to be stable in your mind. You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. So you're not that far from something happening like that to you. So before you quick to judge about somebody, realize that you could be in that same position when life could be. And with the way that the world's going on today, it can happen at any given moment. So you got to be mindful to be careful about saying things like that or assuming things like that.
So that's the purpose of Beacon of Hope ministry. Am I correct? That if you need help, y'all, and tell them how they can contact you if people experiencing issues in their lives, okay?
Absolutely. My phone number is 850-529-3307. That's 850-529-3307. You can also go to my website at Beacon of Hope Champions. That's one word, beaconofhopechampions.org. You can also email me at beaconofhopechampions, all one word, at gmail.com. And I'm also on Facebook and Instagram.
Well, you got certain hours that you maintain?
I do. Mostly it's usually from Tuesday through Friday, and it's usually between the hours of 11 to about 2 o'clock. And then I also do 4 to 6 o'clock in the evening for people who, may be working and they're not able to do it during the day.
Okay. Now what about telehealth? Yeah.
Yes.
You do telehealth?
Yeah. I do. I'm actually, because of my, I'm a caregiver to my mom who is 92 years old. So I do virtual sessions mainly because that works flexible for me because of what I do. But so, yes, I do telehealth, definitely. I do have, rates that are pretty affordable, of course, in situations where maybe someone who's going through a lot, but they may not be able to afford something. We are able to work things out because I believe that not only what I do is a business, but it's also a ministry.
Yeah.
So, so that's something that we can do as well. And I would say that usually I also, help people just develop, wellness plans, daily maintenance plans to know how are they when they're well, how are they when they're not well, and basically help them navigate that journey of their feelings without feeling overwhelmed. That's the goal, is to learn how to just, your emotions rise and fall, but they're messengers. It's okay to have them, but allow them to be the messengers to tell you something of what's going on. So yeah, that's what I do.
What about health insurance? Do you accept health insurance? How did that?
Well, because of the work I do, it's a fee-based service. I don't do insurance because it's not clinical like therapy is.
Right.
So it's a fee-based service. So, but like I said, I also can do payment plans. That can be done. Like, for example, you can do a subscription. Like, for example, let's say you want to do like maybe 5 sessions, right? And you may not necessarily do them like every week or every bi-weekly, but you can probably do a subscription for a month or maybe for a certain period of time. And you can do that for, let's say, for a few months and use those sessions that you have during that time. And then you can renew your subscription going forward. So that's basically how that works.
Okay, well, very good. It is good to know that we have people out there, because I'll tell you that mental health is an issue. It's very difficult for people to understand that, because it's invisible. Mental health is invisible as opposed to physical health. You know, if you cut yourself, or you got a broken leg, or if you feel sick or something like that, you know, physical health, you can do that. But sometimes the mental part of it escapes us, and people don't a lot of times even understand it, because they can't see it and they can't touch it, they can't relate to it.
Right.
And just like physical illnesses, if you will, people experience many different types and forms of physical illness. So is true for mental illness. So
absolutely,
it has to be. And I want to tell folks again too, that it's just like it's no different than physical health. Sometimes you don't know what's wrong with you. You have to go to a doctor. They have to diagnose your issue. Same thing with our mental health. Okay, we have to go to a professional, let a professional diagnose the issue, and then on the way they can help you, they have to do the right diagnoses. And so, and for them to do a modality on you so that you can help your specific issue and need. And just like you said, 1 out of 5 people in this country are experiencing some form of mental issues. Okay, and that's not to be judgmental, but it is what it is. Okay,
it is
really, yeah.
And it's regardless of race, background, economic class, it don't matter. No one's exempt. No one is exempt. I mean, I'm not exempt. To this day, I actually do have a 6-month. Every 6 months, I visit my psychiatric nurse practitioner just to make sure that things are still, because I'm still on medication. Listen, I'm a coach, right? And I'm on medication, not because, that anything is major going on, but because of my hereditary, conditions. I take it to balance things out because of, what I came from, because my birth mother at the time, she was on drugs when she was pregnant with me. So I basically will put, I take a medication, very low dosage, but it's kind of like almost like my other pills I take, it's kind of like maintenance pills, but I still go to her, every 6 months to check up and see how am I doing, right? So listen, if I'm not exempt, and here I am being a mental health coach to everybody, guess what? Neither are you. So, yeah.
Well, you know what I'm going to say about that is because, and please, folks, please understand what I mean about this, is that if you have a headache, if you take a pill and the headache go away, and then you don't take the aspirin again until the headache comes back. Well, mental health issues may work a little bit different. But let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I got thyroid issues, okay? And I had to have my thyroid removed. And so therefore, I have to take a pill every day of my life for the rest of my life to keep my hormones, my thyroids in balance. If I don't take that pill every day, something kind of bad happened to me. And so that's what I'm saying now. So some issues you're going to have to continue to take it, whether you feel better or not. It's just a way of life. And I think people that suffering sometimes with mental illness issues, they put them on low dose medication so they can keep them balanced. But sometimes people take it and they feel better and they say, okay, I feel better. I don't have to take it anymore. It's like a headache. You cannot treat it like that. Treat it like that.
Yeah. There has to be a consistency of that chemical in your bloodstream. And I think that's what, and some of those medications are time released, okay, like extended release. I'll give you an example of that. At one time, I had ADHD symptoms, and I was on a medication that was extended release throughout the day. So the way that it would kick in is that it would slowly pick up and stimulate my brain, right? So that was over a period of a day, over so many hours. And, and I've had people say, well, I'm not taking this medication that got me on because I didn't like the way it made me feel. I said, okay, that's fine. I understand that. But the reason why you're feeling the way you're feeling is because it's trying to get your mind, your chemicals in your brain to balance right now. So it's not going to feel good right at the beginning. However, if after maybe after a month or so, if you see that it's not improving, then that's when you go back to your doctor and say, let's work on this medication management and let's figure out a mix of the right dosage that will balance things out. And sometimes, I'll be honest, it's kind of trial and error with that. But eventually, most people who are like in my position and others find a healthy balance that works. And it's the thing that they keep on doing for the rest of their life, kind of like what you're doing with your thyroid, situation. So those, just because you feel good for the moment, you have to understand there's a consistency with this that you have to maintain to be able to maintain that feeling of being well. And that's not only just in taking medication, that's just in any practice of health for your life. You just can't stop exercising because, okay, I look good now. No, if you don't keep doing that, and along with eating right, you're going to fall yourself right back to gaining weight again. So it's the same practice of consistency. It really is.
Well, what I found now, Dr. House, is that, and you got to understand where people come from, from which they came and how they understand. What I was told one time that even though if you feeling this way, which may not be the norm, okay, and then if I give you medication to keep and put you into the norm, but the norm to them is not how they normally feel, so they think the norm is not normal, and so they want to get back to the original state. Okay, they want to get back to the original state, and so, but that's why we got people like you, Dr. House. So if you're suffering from any type of mental issues, seek help. Forget about the stigma. Talk to somebody. We got mental health coaches and counselors and mental health professionals there for you because it certainly is an issue. Dr. House, I thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
And folks, if you need any assistance and need any help, make sure you contact Dr. House. Dr. House, give me your number again.
Oh, it's 850-529-3307. And then, of course, my website is beaconofhopechampions.org. And if you don't mind giving me just one quick minute, I want to make the announcement that I made last night on the No More Silence broadcast, which is I am the Director of Programs for National Alliance of Mental Illness, Elmer Coast, covering Escambia, Santa Rosa, and Okaloosa, Walton counties. We are getting ready to have an event next month, our third annual Gathering of Healing, where we're going to focus on mental health and how it impacts the communities of color, specifically Black and African ancestry. That's going to be on Saturday, July 11th. 2026 from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. My special guests are going to be Dr. Vanessa Phillips from Escambia County Health Department and Dan Raheem Pfeiffer, who is a clinical therapist with 20 years of experience working with at-risk youth. He will be there as well. We are going to have vendors from Lakeview Health and Hope Clinic, Survivor-Led Solutions, several others, and we're just going to have that conversation. And then also we're going to honor Dr. Irvin Williams, who was a well-known mental health professional in the area who's recently gone on from this life. And we're going to present an award to Lakeview Center for their continued partnership with NAMI, with our efforts. So go on my website, or you can go on my Facebook page and see the cover photo, and you can register for free. And we would love to see you all there.
All right, Dr. House, thank you so much. We appreciate
You're
you.
welcome.
Okay?
All right, you have a good one.
All right now, y'all. It's Tuesday. It's Friday, and we have a report every Friday from the Escambia County Sheriff Office with our Sheriff Chip. Chip, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Vernon. Got a busy morning this morning. I was a little late getting on because sometimes, I'm coming to work and I hear something taking place and I swing by there as if they need my help, right? But I think it's part of the quality control, kind of seeing how we're doing, listening to the radio, and looking for better ways to serve the public. So I appreciate you having me on, and I appreciate the opportunity to serve.
Yeah, you've been having a pretty busy week, huh?
Well, we have a couple things. There was a body found yesterday. In fact, yesterday I was going to work and I swung by to take a look at that and offer my assistance. There's no signs of foul play in that particular situation, but we're going to wait. Obviously, the body was found in what we call an advanced stage of decomposition, and so we are referring obviously that to the medical examiner's office, and then they will give us a cause of death. But as I mentioned before, there's no outward signs of foul play, but we want to make sure we cross all of our T's and dot all of our I's. And so people would have seen that report. I just want to make mention that, again, no obvious signs of foul play, but we're going to wait until the investigation is complete to make that final determination. And to your point, how busy we are, we haven't put it all out yet, but we've done a couple search warrants. Our narcotics unit has, and seized some drugs and arrested some people. So they continue to do a really good job with prioritizing fentanyl and the dealing with the opioid epidemic.
Wow. I noticed that they had a couple of the. I don't understand this. We talk about this every week, and in these crimes that you would think criminals ought to learn, but okay, allegedly, okay, but the incident about the dispensary and the doctor's dispensary pills. I know that we done reported on this 4 or 5 times this year for different locations. Don't people learn about that? Are they think they're just not going to get caught? What happens with this?
Sometimes in my line of work, you just shake your head at what people are thinking, and the thought here is that a physician, someone that's able to write prescriptions, they're an educated individual, right? They know the rules, and they also know that there are strict guidelines with regards to the prescriptions that they write. In the past, before the opioid epidemic, they were writing a lot more pills for, let's just say, Lortab or OxyContin. And now there's a lot more guidelines, a lot more strict, stringent policies regarding how much they can give. So to your point, they know this. They have read the newspaper. They have read, I guess I'm aging myself, read newspaper, but they've seen online. We've made several arrests. We've partnered with DEA on a number of cases, and yet, to your point, they still do it. What are you thinking?
Wow, that always baffles me, because I know since I've been doing this show, we have reported on 3 or 4 other cases like that. But it is what it is on that. What do we got coming up for the? I know you're going to be pretty busy for the 4th of July weekend. There's any precautionary?
Yeah, well, there are certain times when we kind of restrict the leave that we allow our deputies to have, and we also make use of some of the grants that we have for overtime, not just for drug investigations as we just spoke of, but also just to be in the area as a presence. So one of those days is the 4th of July holiday. We're already fielding calls about fireworks, and quite frankly, people are already complaining about fireworks before the event even starts. They're proactively complaining, and so we're getting some messages that, hey, what if a firework comes into my yard from someone else's yard? What if they light fireworks on the 3rd instead of the 4th? And we're just like, if you feel like there's a crime being committed, give us a call. If it is a noise, loud, you're complaining because the 4th of July is going to be loud, there's not a whole lot we're going to be able to do about that. There's still a noise ordinance in in Escambia County. So the thought there is the fireworks should be finished long before, I guess 11 o'clock, whenever time the ordinance kind of kicks in. But even then, it's it's not one of those high priority calls that we go on, because on the 4th of July, we'll be going to a number of calls regarding individuals that are probably drinking too much. There's some disturbances. We'll be prioritizing those calls.
Yeah. Now I know you got to go. One other thing I just want to speak to you about. I know you had to relieve one of your own members this week about some issues, but that just goes to show you that the integrity into the office itself, that regardless of what happened, you will not accept people breaking the law, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, we're law enforcement officers, and we are not above the law, and we preach that, and we hold a standard. We have core values: courtesy, integrity, professionalism, and when an individual fails to live up to those standards, then we have to take action. And so it is unfortunate. I will tell people that she was involved heavily, and she's really done a great job with regards to what she does at the office, and working with our own mental health. I know that you had a lady on earlier, Dr. House, and she has been the coordinator of our mental health unit, which is a co-responder unit with Lakeview, and then internally she provided some counseling services for our own employees. But we are transitioning that. We're going to continue. This has no effect on our co-responder unit. They're still out there. They've been out there from the beginning. The internal aspect of things, our employees will still have opportunities, whether it's in our internal EAP program, or we also have arranged where that as part of our insurance plan, that people have someone that they can talk to if they feel like they need to. And also the individuals that are in specialized units here at the sheriff's office, our special victims unit that deals with child predators and that sort of thing. It's mandatory that they talk to someone just to make sure that that they are okay, because the things that you see, the things that you hear, the things you experience can stay with you a bit, can linger. And so I just want to make sure everyone understands that while it's going to be a little different, it's not going to affect the availability internal, and it has no effect at all on the external co-responder unit. So yes, that did take place.
But that just go to show you, just same thing when I had this lady on this morning. Mental illness is a serious problem. It's something that we take for granted because we cannot see it. And I know in your business, as much as you go through, much as you see, much you experience, stuff like the finding the kids in the pool and stuff like that, it's so vitally important that you're human too. And I know that the lady that worked for you, been there for a long time, pretty high ranked person, but everybody goes through stuff, okay? And that's what we were trying to convey this morning. If you are having issues, seek some help, talk to somebody, and because this problem of mental illness is a concern, and so seek help in some shape, form, or fashion. Chip, I know you got to go to your meeting, but let me let you wrap it up, okay?
Yeah, no, I want to say thank you. I think that with regards to training our law enforcement officers, we go through a crisis intervention training, but in addition to that, we have our ongoing training opportunities in which we train our deputies on how to recognize mental illness. As you said, we have a co-responder unit, which is the first time we've ever had one here at the sheriff's office. And I think the first one, we were one of only 2 programs in the state of Florida like this one, like the one that we have. But we're on the cutting edge, if not a pioneer, in the law enforcement / mental health with regards to a co-responder unit here locally, and they've done a really good job. So we continue to serve in a variety of ways, and we are better than we've ever been. We're more capable than we've ever been, and we're more open than we've ever been. So I want to say thank you for allowing me to do that, to allow me to talk to people. And sometimes I'll say, hey, we could have done better. We had to get rid. We had to allow an officer, a deputy, to go ahead and retire. And we do things, and we talk about things that are great. We talk about things that aren't so great. So I appreciate the opportunity to be open with the public.
Yeah, and that's great too because, like I said, we all go through things, and sometimes we all make mistakes, and we all human, and and but I just want to tell everybody out there that if you're going through issues, at least talk to somebody, seek somebody's advice, and they don't get hung up on this stigma of. And I know in your business, Chip, that people that going through things, they probably wouldn't want the department to know because they think it's a stigma. I know you got an EAP program. I hope people take advantage of that without the fear of losing their jobs or anything like that. And that's what I tell people out in the community, even if you get jobs or whatever. If they got programs like an employee assistance program, if you need some help, and hopefully this stuff is confidential anyway, so that
It is.
you don't have to run the risk of losing your job. Okay. All right, Chip. I know you're looking at your watch.
All right, buddy. Hey, I appreciate. Thank you for having me on.
Okay, thank you now.
All right, buddy.
All right, y'all. All right, y'all. My time is about up anyway. That's Chair Chip Simmons. I really thank him for coming on every week and being transit and transparent and with us about what's happening in our communities. It's sometimes you have to make some hard decisions, and I know he lost a good employee this week. But anyway, y'all, I gotta get out of here, boy. I didn't realize time is passing on, but I still got a few minutes. I just want to talk to you about a few other things here before I go. Okay, before I go here, there's I was going to try to share with you. We talked about, we added a sports segment in here. Okay, we added a sports segment. I want folks say, well, you don't talk about sports. I'm not a big sports fan, but I got my AI generated sports reporter. I want to tell you about what's going on in sports. Here we go.
Good morning, Vernon. I'm Orion with your WBQP Sports Report. Here's what's happening in sports this week. NBA Finals. The New York Knicks are celebrating their first NBA championship since 1973 after defeating the San Antonio Spurs in 5 games. Finals MVP Jalen Brunson led the Knicks to their 3rd title in franchise history, ending a 53-year championship drought and energizing basketball fans across New York. NHL Stanley Cup. The Carolina Hurricanes captured the Stanley Cup this week, defeating the Vegas Golden Knights 4-2. Carolina's championship marks its 2nd Stanley Cup title and ends a 20-year wait since winning the Cup in 2006. College World Series. The NCAA Men's College World Series Championship Series is underway in Omaha. Oklahoma defeated North Carolina 9-3 in Game 1 and entered Game 2 looking to clinch the national championship. North Carolina is attempting to force a decisive 3rd game. Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball is approaching the midpoint of the season as teams continue battling for division leads and wild card positioning. With the All-Star break on the horizon, contenders are beginning to separate themselves from the pack. FIFA World Cup. The 2026 FIFA World Cup continues with exciting group stage matches around the globe. National teams are competing for spots in the knockout round as fans worldwide follow one of the largest sporting events in history. Local sports. Across Northwest Florida and South Alabama, high school athletes are participating in summer football workouts, basketball camps, and conditioning programs in preparation for the upcoming fall sports season. Coaches throughout the region report strong participation and enthusiasm from student athletes. This is Orion with your WBQP Sports Report. Stay connected with WBQP TV 12 and WBQP Radio for the latest local, regional, and national sports coverage. Have a great week, Vernon. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Orion. Y'all, I need to caution you on something. We're talking about the weather. The weather forecast next week is going to get extremely hot, as I understand it. We got a heat wave is moving from west to east, and look like it's gonna. If you've been looking at the news today, yesterday, you'll see that people across the country are experiencing some extreme heat. we are scheduled to get some of that heat next week. I'm talking about in the triple digits next week, okay? And so I said that to say, check on folks, your older folks, folks that may not have air conditioning fans, now's the time to check on these people to make sure that people are gonna survive this heat. It's gonna be lingering for 2 or 3 days this week. Heat can kill, okay? Heat can kill, trust me. So if you know somebody that don't have an air conditioner, maybe you can help them out. Maybe you can help them get a little small 5,000 watt air conditioner, put in the window for them, or give them a fan or something like that. Particularly the elderly folks, and then you need to check on them this week as well. Okay, check on them because we want to make sure that everybody go through this experience safe. It is the weekend, and hopefully that everybody have a great weekend. Don't forget, if you go out there on that beach, because of the different kind of weather that we've been having, they've been having an awful lot of issue with rip current out there, and so you can get caught up in the undertones of the rip current, stuff like that. So please be safe out on the beach. Not to even mention sharks out there as well. Okay, he might want to have lunch with you, so you don't want to get out there in that either. Also, that these hurricanes. There's a earthquake. Several earthquakes have been going on lately, and one that hit Venezuela last night. 2 of them back to back, and they expect tens of thousands of people to be lost in that earthquake. So that is certainly a very serious matter. We had an earthquake off of California just recently this week. So a lot of things going on in and around our world. But I got to get out of here. But I want you to try to enjoy your safe weekend. We got the 4th of July coming up, okay? And your 4th of July celebration on next weekend. And so be careful with fireworks, okay? I know you go to Alabama, we don't legally sell certain kind of fireworks in Florida. I know y'all sneak over to Alabama and get all these kinds of fireworks. And also neighbors, be patient, if you will, because people are going to shoot off those fireworks and they're going to cause noise, and you might get upset because of the noise, but try to endure. Folks, if you are one of the people that like to shoot off fireworks, please be careful, because those ambers of those fireworks can get into other people's property or drop into other people's property. It could cause fires. I'm hopefully that the weather the conditions are not too dry that it can cause some fires and stuff like that. But just precautionary stuff, y'all, that you need to know and that you need to consider when you're out there. Okay. Next week, y'all, I still got a segment of African American news that I'm going to start, and I got several reports that I needed to do, but I got to find a time to squeeze in the African American news report. So we're going to be adding that to our program. I'm talking about news that affecting us across the country. Okay. All right, y'all. My time is up. I would hear Minister Jones on the old Path show used to say all the time, my time is far spent. And so, but just know, I want you to have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday, y'all, with another great show of Vernon in the morning. And I want y'all to tell everybody about the show, okay? And on how to get the show and how to get WBQP TV. WBQP has some great program lined up for you. I want you to stay tuned to it. You can get it in different sundries and many different ways. And but I gotta go, y'all. I love you with a perfect love, as Omar would say. And as the comedian George Wallace said, there ain't nothing you can do about it. And the blues hound would say, "You's the only one I love." And don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the Blues Hound Show. I love y'all. See you next week. Have a great weekend.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For more.